All right. So what shape is this right here? It's a rectangular prism. And what we're going to do is we are going to, it says if if x equals 8 units, y equals 15 units, and z equals 5 units, then what is the surface area of the rectangular prism shown above? Now, I know on our reference sheet we have a formula that says lateral and total. If it just says surface area, is it talking about total surface area or lateral surface area? It's talking about the total surface area. Good job. So make sure that we know the difference. We have this prism. So let's go ahead and label our sides. X equals 8. Y equals 15. And Z equals 5. Okay? So we do have this formula on the reference sheet, but I feel that this is very confusing. So we're just going to work through it, and I believe after we're done working through the problems, it'll be an easier way for you to solve it, okay? If not, you can always do what we did before. So with your highlighter, this rectangular prism has 3 different faces. What we're going to do is first find the area of the faces. We're going to multiply them by 2 because I have 2 this size, I have 2 this side, and I have 2 of this side. So I have to remember I have to multiply them by 2. And then we're going to add all areas. We're going to find the area of this face, and that face, multiply them by 2, and add them up. Area of face, multiply by 2, or faces, multiply by 2, and add up all the areas. I'll give you a few seconds to jot that down. So first of all, we need to identify what is considered a face. Now, I don't know what I did with the rest of my highlighters. I put them over there. I'm just going to use a pen. Oh, here we go. All right. So here's one. Here's another one. And here's a third one on top. What shape are these faces? Rectangles. So when I look at my reference sheet, I first need to find the area of the rectangles, find the area of the faces. It says area equals the base times the height. So the base times the height of each face. So I'm going to have area equals base times height. Okay, so on face 1, what is my base times the height? What's my base? 8. And what's my height?
15.
Okay, so I have 8 times 15. What is that? I'm just making up stuff.
120.
120. And how many faces do I have of this?
3.
I have, how many of this particular one do I have?
4. 8.
2. This and this are the same. These two sides are the same, and the top and bottom are the same. So then I need to multiply 120 by 2 and get what? Just put times and then 2. What's my answer?
120 times 2.
Uh-huh.
240.
240. Let's find the area of the second face. Number 2. What? I have base times height. What's my base?
5.
5. And what's the height?
15.
15. Put it in my calculator. 5 times 15. 75. And then there's 2 of them. So I have to times 2 is what? 150. Now I have my third face. What's my base times my height on that? The third face.
5 times 8 times 5.
Good job. 8 times 5 is 40. And times 2 is what? 80. Then I just add up all my numbers. 240 plus 150 plus 80.
470.
470 units. Thank you so much. Squared. What's my answer choice?
D.
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 All right.
Delta.
Does anybody have any questions about that? Pretty straightforward. All right. Let's look at question 5. It says, what is the total surface area of the cylinder shown above? I'm sorry, I just read the middle of the sentence. I didn't even start at the beginning or anything like that. Let me step backwards. It says, if R in...
Equals 4.
Thank you, Gonzalo. If R equals 4 units and X equals 7 units, then what is the total surface area of the cylinder shown above? Total surface area. Let's go to our reference sheet. Is that lateral? Or is this one or this one? Total. And since we have, is this a prism or a cylinder? Cylinder. So this would be the formula we use. Surface area equals 2 times pi times the radius times the height plus 2 times pi times the radius squared. Okay? Let's take a minute. Let's look at our answer choices. None of these answer choices have been multiplied by pi. They've multiplied every other term and they've left pi out. So what we're going to do in our formula, we're going to circle pi knowing that we don't have to use it. So let's rewrite our formula as surface area equals 2 times the radius times the height plus 2 times the radius squared. Now we're just going to substitute our values for the variables. So S equals 2. What's our radius?
4.
4 times 4. What's our height? 7. Thank you, Lena. Plus 2 times the radius. Again, that's 4 squared. Comma S. Yes, because we're going to put this in menu 3-1. S stands for surface area. So, menu 3-1. Sorry, let me scoot over. Let me get in there. Menu 3-1. S equals 2 times 4 times 7 plus 2 times 4 squared, comma, S. What's my answer? Well, y'all press enter first. Thank you. It's 88. So the surface area is 88 times pi units squared. What's our answer choice?
B.
B. All right. Let's go to the next page on the back. It says question 13. I have a triangular. What shape is this? A triangular prism. So, What is the, I want you to take your highlighter first and highlight the base of the prism. Then I want you to label each variable as it is outlined for you in the problem. So you're going to shade the base. And then I want you to outline the sides. It's going to be kind of hard. You might have to outline the sides with a pencil so it's a different color. To outline the two sides. I'm doing this for a reason. So, with a triangular prism, we're going to have to find the area of the base. Then we need the area of the sides. And how many sides do we have? Two. And then we're going to multiply those times 2. Then we need the area of the triangle faces. I'm just going to put triangles like that. And how many triangles do we have?
2.
And we're going to multiply those times 2. Then we're going to add all the areas. We're simply making a checklist for ourselves so we can make sure we do all steps of the problem. I know it's kind of dry. So now we need to label our variables. Z is 8 units. Y is 24 units. X is 20. And H is 16. And it asks, what is the surface area of the triangular prism shown above? So surface area means all sides of it. So first, what's the area of my base? That's a rectangle. And I know that the area of a rectangle is the base times the height. So for 1, I'll have base times my height, which is what? What's the base of the rectangle times the height? 8 times 8 times 24. Good job. 8 times 24. What is that? 8 times 24 is 192. How many bases do I have? Just the one, so I don't have to multiply it by anything. Check that off. Number 2, I need the area of the sides, and I need to multiply it by 2. What shape are the sides? Rectangle. So that's still base times height times 2. So I'm going to have base times height times 2 equals what? What's my base of the sides?
8.
8. And what's my height? 20. And I need to multiply that by 2 because I have 2 of them. So I have 8 times 20 times 2. What is that?
320.
That's correct. 320. I've done the second step. Third step is the area of the triangles times 2. Let's look at my reference sheet. The area of a triangle is 1/2 times base times height. So I'm going to have 1/2 times the base times the height. And how many triangles do I have? 2. So I then need to multiply it times 2. So I have 1/2. What's the base of the triangle? It's what? 24. What's the height of the triangle? 16. Good job, Gonzalo. Good catch. And I take all of that and I multiply it times 2. So put that in the calculator. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm having a bad allergy day. Okay. So I'm going to hit open parentheses. Control divide. 1/2 arrow over times 24 times 16 arrow over the number 2. Enter. What do you get? Should have gotten 384. Last step. Add up all of these. So I'm going to add 192 plus 320 plus 384. Now I found all the areas of each side, I add them all together. What's my answer? (896 units squared), which is answer choice what? A. Questions 14 and 15 are about volume, so we're going to skip over those. We did that yesterday. We just have 2 more, questions 34 and questions 36. We're also going to skip 35, okay? Let's look at 34. John is making a tent for his next camping trip out of waterproof material. He is going to use 2 different colors for the tent and needs to know how many square yards of material he will need for the lateral portion of the tent. The equilateral triangular shaped opening of the tent, or base, has side lengths of 4 yards, and the tent will be 7 yards long. How many square yards of material does John need for the lateral portion of the tent? So what does lateral mean? If I throw a lateral pass in football, what direction is that?
Forward. Wait, no.
Sideways.
Sideways. So lateral means sides. So when you see lateral surface area, you're only concerned with the sides, not the faces, just the sides, okay? So it says the base has side lengths of 4 yards. So this is 4 yards. And the length is 7 yards long. So we're going to go to our reference sheet under surface area, lateral. We just have the perimeter times the height. Oh yes, I forgot. We're not going to use those formulas. What we're going to do is we're simply going to find area of the sides. And how many sides do I have here?
2.
I have the base and I have the 2 sides. So how many sides do I have? 3. Times 3. That's all we need to do. We don't have to find the face part. We're just going to find the area of these sides and multiply it by 3. What shape are my sides? What shape is this?
Triangle. No, wait. A rectangle.
A rectangle. The sides are rectangles. So what is the formula for area of a rectangle? Base times height, right? So I'm going to have base times height times how many sides?
3.
3. So, what's my base?
2. 4.
4. What's my height? 7 times 3. Put in the calculator. 4 times 7 times 3.
84.
84 units squared. What answer choice is that?
B.
B. Hold on, guys. It's the last one, okay? We can do this.
No, we can't.
Yes, we can. We're capable. A maple syrup company is making a new label, underline that word label, for its barrels of syrup. Barrels of syrup is also important. If barrels are 5 feet tall and have a radius of 2 feet, what is the area of the label the company needs to use? Use 3.14 for pi. First of all, is this lateral or total surface area?
Total surface area.
It's lateral. When you see the word label, label equals lateral. So we're only concerned with the sides. Okay? Now, a barrel, what shape is that?
Cylinder.
A cylinder. So, let's go to our reference sheet. Surface area, lateral, cylinder. Surface area equals 2 times pi times the radius times the height. So, our formula, S equals 2 pi r h. Now we're going to substitute our values for our variables. 2 is a value. Instead of pi, they're going to use 3.14 times the radius. What's the radius? The radius is 2. And what's my height? 5. Comma, S. Put that in menu 3-1. Menu 3-1. S equals 2 times 3.14 times 2 times 5, comma S. Enter. Surface area equals 62.8. Is it feet squared or square feet? What answer choice is that?
C. C. C as in cat.
C.
How are we doing?
We are done with the lesson.